Hello, I hope you're having a great day and enjoying the conference. The purpose of this little workshop is only to explain how can Google Plus enhance the delivery of your modules if in any way it can help you. It depends on the content. In our case, we use it for our BSc multimedia production because it's very graphic and it's you need to share a lot of information between students and especially videos and ideas and the product overall is going to be as well something graphic, so it was useful, but it resulted also in a good idea to use posteriorly with the business school. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit how did it work and maybe it can help you as well. So for the MSc multimedia production, we had these three modules in which we started using it, and that's how it worked. Basically, you just go to your email. In here, you have these applications on the in the corner. You just go to Google Plus, and by now you should have your own profile created. So in the menus of options here on the left, you will have your profile that you have to create as much information as you want to give. Then the next one goes to all the people that you are going to be sharing with, and you can really have circles that they are very useful because you can add a person, so you just have to put like the student number and they will receive a kind of an invitation. If they don't if they have a profile, will always you can see it straight away, otherwise you will have to invite them. And then in here you can create circles to your convenience. In our case, we put all the students from storytelling together. They are all there, including the lecturers like Alison Khan and John Dempsey. Also, all the modules, they are all there. We could even divide it for certain tasks in set 1 and set 2, so that you only have to use these circles to invite to a certain task or something like that. And then, okay, come back to the menu. So you got yourself, you got your people, or the circles that you need. We now go to discuss how to create the communities. A community, in our case, was created for example, a storytelling module. And then is when you have everyone's contributions, including you or the students can share with you information that we had in the class. These are the photos of one of our workshops on lighting. You can see all of them, so people can you can somebody lost something, you can let them know. This is when they were exercising themselves, the stuff that we were asking them to do. This is feedback from one of our lecturers. Obviously, I'm not going to turn on the audio. Tips, and then things that we asked the students to do. We also went to the museum to do an essay, a photo essay, and they could share it with us, the students. So it was quite useful. And we could also mark from here, so you can see all the work from the students. As I said, our nature of our work is quite graphic, so it works really well for that. Communities, let's come back to the communities. So for example, in integrated project documentary, we once again use it to give them advice. They could also share their work with us. It's the final documentaries. But prior to that, we could include here kind of documents that comes from Google Drive. And for example, when are we going to meet to do these presentations? And they could all gather the information from there. Or for example, how to do things. Yes, we share with them Google Drive as well. So that was really, really useful. So let's come back to communities. Another benefit that you have with Google Plus is like in our case, for example, when they finished, I could create a collection that is a very similar thing to a community, but this is more like a group of products. So in this case, for example, I created a collection of all the final work, and this is live for anybody to watch. And these are the documentaries that I made. On the other hand, what is very useful to know is that you could create events. So you could invite a class to do something in particular. I mean, I got several events here for different subjects, but also the most important thing is to have a hangout in which it's a kind of video conference, and there is no excuse for the students to say that they cannot meet up for coursework or for group work, because they can really meet virtually. So you just start a video hangout. Either you can invite people now at this moment in time, or you can really create it before through the events, and you can leave a message if people are not here. So that's very useful as well. You can even record a video conference and made it alive. So yeah, let's come back to the menu, and then I think I explained more or less everything. So it worked very well for the integrated project, for the storytelling, and for the experimental project. But also, I was approached by Eric Castles and Heather Waters and Diana Pope to create this, to help to see if it could help, to really see if the same method could be applied to a different project. And it kind of did, and it worked. Probably Eric is going to tell you more, or Heather, if they are there. This was massive, and it was completely different. But the thing that they had in common is that you needed to establish an interaction between many students, especially this time they were from Hong Kong and the UK, and there was the advantage that they could do it in their own time, different times, and then they could communicate easily. Once you are in Google Plus, anybody can see when you are available if you want them to know that you are available, and they can contact it instantly. So we use it in a very different way, because this project was less practical, less graphic in a way, but it worked. I mean, they can tell you more about it. In this case, we did organize different phases. So every community it was a phase one for many groups. These groups obviously were circles of the students. So if I can see you here in people again, you can go to the circles, my circles, and you probably can see in here that I have okay, I'm lying. The circles were created by Diana, so she was the one to invite the students, not me. I just participated in the communities. But you can have the idea that you just have to create circles here, inviting the people. Then the communities again, let's come back to the communities. So we created for every phase. Like for example, the first phase was for them to get to know each other. So they have to say something about themselves. And then everybody could see in the group who were they, including the lecturer. And also, the at the creation of every single community or phase, it was sent the instructions to follow. And once the phase one was finished, we moved to phase two and three for every group, and it was giving the instructions, and then they start sharing ideas of how they wanted to start with the work. And then after that, we move into phase four, and every group continue creating their work. As you can see in here, this is just most advanced in the sense of linking this to their Google Drive, so they could share any document. And then we end with phase five group, and that was the culmination of the whole project. And we were going to take all products from this for all these groups and make a collection of them in this. So basically, this is just, I imagine you have the overall picture of how it works and how well it could be used. Only one more thing to mention before I leave you is that when you create these communities, because of the links and associations that we have with Brooks, you create a community, you decided it has to be restricted to Brooks or not restricted. So if you say yes, it's only internal, you say next. Then is it open to all Brooks staff and students, or is private in Brooks? So you create private, and then you can create a group, and then you can say if it can be searched or not. And then after that, you can invite the circles and the people that you are interested in sharing with. So it's quite private if you want. And eventually, at the last minute, if you wish to make it public, you can make it public. And I hope you have enjoyed, and I have explained it more or less okay. And if you have more questions, most probably Alison will be there with you. I'm not sure if Eric and Heather will be there, but I hope it's been useful. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.